myself, Anil from Palla, and the CEO of the University Head. It's a US-based C Corp, which is a strategic partner for about 12 universities in US. And the current project we are working on is to bring in US institutions utility for education.
Good afternoon. My name is Reddy. I'm an entrepreneur now. Worked in IT for about 25 years, working with Cat and Mac for 16 years. I now own startups on education side. I'm not a startup in education. I know this is one of the largest international university going and a lot of IT startups.
And Balaji Utla used to remember I worked at Utla one there. Well, I spent that in academics. I spent time in an IT company. We started in 50 and that at the time is 2000. And I dabbled in healthcare for a while. But in public time, designed the zero bandwidth services, zero core television services. I also had a startup. And right now, I'm part of an education institution on the register of a university in the dean of a business school, the rest of a medical school. That's about it. Okay.
That we're managing that based on New Jersey, and then the founder CEO for Interconnected ecosystem. We are a group of about 70 companies. We've also got financial, healthcare, vaccines, medical devices, and investment world for the most part. We just started to incorporate our expansion yet. I'm a power bias for a long time, and my focus in India has changed in the last 3 months that I have spent. I'm very committed to rural healthcare, education, and applications of AI. That's British.
Hi, Pavan. I started the first venture here in Vindhyasi for Colorado offices, where we used to teach entrepreneurship and financial literacy for school children. And ran it for 6 years. We were acquired by a company called Bright Chance. Ran Bright Chance business for about 1.5 years. Now started something called the school, which is School of Entrepreneurship, the 3-year undergrad program, beside ITC Corridor in Hyderabad. Ramesh from Hyderabad, I'm a faculty here. I moved from industry to academics. I had many of our resource conservation networks, including one set named after Professor RJD, that works with NGOs to create technologies for rural education, rural healthcare. So happy to talk later. And so I had many of our translation network. We look at our incubation center also as a translation center. There are 23 research centers and 5 research translation centers. So I'm involved with many of the translation efforts. Otherwise involved in Sabbath ecosystem in the city for many years, who understand. And my current work with the industry. I moved from industry to academia. So I kind of shadow few words.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramesh. And I think since originally planned for a panel of 5, but now we had 6, right? From Mulu, that is going to cover a few areas. One is very interesting to see that we have a mix of people from education, people who work in corporate, some did time to build a school of entrepreneurship and so on. So we'll start with Reddy covering and design the role of AI in education first. Then I think it's important to also think about the ethical use of AI, and particularly in education where you will be working with young guys, and we spend a very bit of time on ethics and responsibilities in concerning the use of education in PR education. We'll talk a little bit and try and draw some perspectives on new or successful implementation strategies for AI and related. And then the challenges and limitations, and then we go to Uganda. To my request to the panelists is, since we had 6 eminent people here, and we had about approximately 35-40 minutes, kick your answer bridge, right? And obviously, I'm sure we will not repeat what Ashikani said. So let's start with, I'm going to kick it at random, right, to distribute it in this thing. So I start with my friend Ramakrishna Garu, right? As someone who's started many pencils, right? And I'm going to start with how do you, based on what you are now, Telangana, right? Bhanu, the license in Hyderabad. How do you envision how transforming traditional teaching and learning methods?
AI when we try to apply with students,
there's a lot of perspective comes from the parents. That's been the biggest challenge for us. Before I get into the experience, I typically said that because majority of the parents from our veteran opt from IT industry within the world we're going to rely on, how are we preparing the kids for future? Unfortunately, that many of the education institutions are not trying to talk about institution, do not capture the data that could be very, very useful for the learning and teaching in future. Just to give an example, if I look at a student progress from say page 4 or page 5 onwards where they start learning the maths or science, if you stop capturing the information how the student has been performing from 3 to 11 across various subjects, a simple passage, it will help us to kind of identify a study that is made to pick up certain aspects of a particular subject well or not. Because a continuing education. And if not, it would actually help us to create some strategies which is called the personalized teaching. And the learning objectives can be set for both the teacher as well as the student. With the challenges, currently we cannot, majority of the parents, they just take every year report card, keep it back in the burrow, next year wait for the next one, but not the entire work happened from last 5 years or 6 years. So that's challenge that we are trying to work on. Fortunately, we had about 5 years data, but we need to have even no data to see how this can be. So that is about setting up the personalized teaching and learning objectives for the students. The second one is about uses of AI by the students needs to be taken from two perspectives. One is about, is that hindering the cognitive skill building or the partner and building or rational thinking of the student? If so, we do not want to expose that for the AI tools because end of the day it's an aid for them to learn but more a dependency to kind of build on. And on the other side, when it comes to evaluation methods that you try to kind of assess or the assessment methods, it's becoming very difficult even for teachers to see that that's being from a generative AI tool. And everybody is very smart enough to do that. It's okay to use to the extent where they have their own thinking, which is being assisted in refining the answer, but not kind of as an answer. So I can keep it short. This is the current challenges that we have. Where the way AI to become to show to become a slave pillar at this point at the time. Efficient schools. Thank you. Thank you about that. Very. So let's take a perspective from the other side of the way.
Okay. Why do you see the AI, superior competent traditional teaching and learning methods?
I mean, it's very difficult to talk about AI because it's very early stages in education system. Myself, a 10-year professor at a university in the US, I see, graduate levels, I don't have experience with school kids much, but I can talk about graduate students using AI, misusing AI a lot. So sometimes, I see it from both sides, where they're learning something from the AI. Even though they're using AI, it's a learning process. It's not just a click. You have to give account, you need to go into it to search it, how to use it. I still see, as a professor, as a knowledge-based program. But, if they're completely depending on, it's kind of difficult. So you need to make a decision whether it's going to be good or bad in education industry. It's too early. Too early to say anything about it because, there's no much data to support it. So what we are trying to do to prevent it, because if a professor is spending time to see this, the student has done the work by himself or used AI, it takes for a lot of worse. We have a qualitative students in each class around and every if we have to evaluate the work they are submitted and if we are spending time to see it, it's a genuine work. It's not that happy. We are using our books. So what we are done is that, rather than evaluating the papers, now we have asked students to come and do the presentations. If they have learned something from the AI, if they are able to present it, that's a good thing to see. However, they have learned something, We don't want kids to be learning everything out of the books. It's old fashioned now, AI should be like a cake or them to give enough knowledge to learn or, tools to make it, faster learning process. But if they're completely depending on it to get away, then it's perfectly bad. But as I said again, it would be too early. It's too early to define,
if AI is going to do good or bad for the education industry. Especially when it comes to school kids, I would definitely say that your research still has to be more accurate than more precise than just the bookish knowledge. The world is changing so fast. The education system is changing so fast. So it's good for the kids to adopt to the newer technologies rather than going on traditional method of learning. So
I want you to cover a little bit about in the university you were associated with multiple education institutions. And I guess a lot of early stage adoption may be happy, right? So could you walk us through a couple of use cases where you're starting to see you might come to almost green shoots with the deployment of
Yeah, I think I've been in the IT industry, like somebody would say, I think the people would say, you got a hand and everything looks like a nail. So that's an attitude. And also I've seen multiple hike and pop cycles. And I think I have the right to say soon because there are 2 decades I speak in IT industry. I agree with in terms of saying it's too early for us to say they are option. Apparently people are looking at AI most skill of Google plus in a way. But I could bring in a slightly different perspective in the context where we are locating in Africans. I wish the a challenge in terms of the asymmetry of the kind of students in upper class. Fortunately for Ram Krishna's office or with enterprise, the cutoff is very probably cogent and similar in its hall. The students whose parents are IT, have students whose parents are distributed bits, have students whose are children of farmers, marginal farmers. So I think culturally speaking, the ability and access to any of these students is not uniform. So first of all, one principle since you brought up the ethics, a principle of equity to be brought into the class to cover the digital divide is a challenge. Because I don't think everybody has access to computing tools at home, not bandwidth. Many of the students come from rural areas and they live in almost like a Arun, for example, that is small rooms you appreciate power, no privacy. So those are some of the challenges that I think that one also way to look into. The second one, I think it's a critical aspect which I think the model to Western, the Sanjeev and Anil, they also talk about what works in the US from Palla, do you want to do it and implement it, that's or not. The key issue I think in any education is the role of a faculty. How much will the faculty adopt with these new systems that itself changes the knowledge in terms of goes in the class and the capability of the students that are coming there. So managing both is a bit challenge in terms of that. So trying to bring in the IIinEducation strategy almost as it was born in the US, and everybody ignored it, including the some of the process in the computer science departments, visual speed. So I think one of the key things is to bring in use cases. There are 2 things that I see particularly right now to reduce the burden of faculty in evaluating students, preparing question papers, which much of the time because etc. is Ramesh and Prakash there. But quite unlike IITs, IITs, etc., the faculty tend to teach 1 or 2 papers. You have faculty teach 3 to 4 papers today. So I think academic burden can be reduced in terms of setting question papers, evaluating question papers. But on the flip side, I see a little bit of a problem that intellectual laziness. Earlier, people used to download slideshow, SlideShare. Now they ask Meta, so I think it looks vanilla kind of teaching that is there. So I think it's tough to work with faculty to use AI as a tool, and it cuts both ways. So these early stages, like every project, like I said, innovation diffusion, we have innovators and we have early adopters, etc. It has to pass over in the early majority. So there's some that there is early majority. It's too early. But then use cases like you mentioned, typically reducing the burden of the faculty in terms of fees. And also some of the faculty, I should touch the key to the teachers who taught my teachers, who taught their teachers, in English especially. I never had an institution called I could be able to. It's a very typical Andhra Telugu. You read that especially. So somebody wrote some very nice one, bright idea, but very poorly written. So I asked the person as who's coming here, to kindly offer this text to one of the AI engines and get to English corrected and check where mistake it overcome that. So therefore, I do see this because teachers are egos. We'll have to handle that with a little bit of. So I think AI also helps in this side effects of.
Okay, so let's on to jump to you, Ramesh, right? And you are sitting at the hub of an institution which talks about research, innovation, mind the startup world, right? So and I'm sure there's a lot of work going on at IIIT to envision what AI can do and how AI can make the whole learning experience more pleasurable for students, more hyper-personalized. And I have to see some of the points which also Balaji talk about in terms of how it can be in APAC strategy. So where is the AI being out there? So what is festival you see?
So 2 years back to next month, we had a brainstorming, the early days of charity. We were just clearing ways for few months. So we had a faculty brainstorming on the side of the Balaji. Okay, second day we do a faculty only brainstorming every year. And that afternoon's topic was synthesis, ChatGPT, Bhanu. And the conclusion was, embrace it. You don't have to fight it. Don't have to get overly excited. Don't have to get overly depressed. Just embrace the reality. Not yet embrace it. Embrace the reality. So it means like assume to sort of use. And then upon figure out whether our teaching the day, you obviously do think that they can get the easy access as teachers we have played. Or if you do things where they can answer through the easy access also as teachers we have played. So that's when it comes to it. While we do a lot of work in AI, when it comes to teaching, I don't think we use much of AI. Because it's coming from the knowledge of the faculty. We don't. So we don't. And we're okay to use ChatGPT. The processor side that they probably can't answer from a ChatGPT anyway. They're mindful of it. Our TAs are very, very mindful. We have a strong TA culture. And the TAs are themselves the kindly students of first year. More than people TAs teaching assistant, which is the US thing. In the area very common. We are all teaching assistants and then just but almost peers. So they differ very well. When it comes to us, we embrace the reality, not embrace it. Embrace the reality that it exists. And apparently we do the whole awareness. When it comes outside, technologies that we're helping create, we see our possibilities, right? Just what you try to do with just government stores. Now, with a threat to the state government, they want to do more. We're already doing a part of the Reddy Center. We are working with several schools and NGOs that look at education. These are a lot of possibilities. Just English language that we mentioned. Teachers are egos. You tell them you don't know English, they will not accept it, whether they know or not. And what you are seeing, many schools are recently okay in English, but not in spoken English. They may be okay in English, especially these days, compared to 20 years back. They're generally okay with English, but not spoken English for sure even now. And so we have all the tools, all the process, kind of this research work and post-research and work in that area, how to teach and type spoken English. So it just repeats the sentence. We wired the whole, this stage curriculum 6 to 10. The teachers are just like to them teaching 7th class, 3rd research. The system has 5 sentences linked to that. After the class, the system says the sentence, everybody can repeat it to guy. Now, so this is a teaching aid. Similarly, they said then when we had to brainstorm with schools and the whole education office or kind of department officers, what then they came over a lot of time goes into administrative reporting. Suddenly there's some person coming in assembly or somewhere, or they used to want something or the department want something. Kind of a message goes all the street. Correct. Okay, how many people are meet there today? How many students didn't come out to meet there? It's something that for different purposes, they read it. The data is required. Let's say the teacher stopped teaching and the next 2-3 hours has to come back. So the pressure coming and so they said there's no time to, half the time goes up into administrative reporting. So we said, can you use standards and says to automate some of this? It's not happening that easily, but we're working with trying to participate in a school and about. So I think teaching is different. One thing will be brainstorm with teachers. One thing we got was they already use YouTube extensively. They are very different. Digital literate. They said the concept they do pay YouTube bills. But they come from Khan Academy or somewhere, they're aware of many of those things, so they suppress. It's not very rural. It's Moinabad, which is just semi-rural in a way. But that village was as rural as rural Canada. And teachers, they are probably living in the neighborhood, not necessarily coming from areas far from neighborhood. So they're very aware. So I think they are aware of the tool, they will use it. But I think AI can, there's more than helping teachers, which I think they are aware they will choose. AI can help in the whole process of education. That is a bigger opportunity, especially with Ramesh, where they can't very resource starved. Can we build some of these tools that will help with the whole process of running a school? I say bigger opportunity there rather than in terms of teaching. As I still feel teaching is a teacher-led process. They should be aware of what's available. They should be repeating what's available on the internet. But I think I have size, but I never use size in my class. I use a bag. I think no vehicle can replace my laptop teaching. Chalk and talk. Yes, chalk and talk. So no AI can replace that. So we use a random thing. No AI can is supporting material. But my teaching, that's all. Teaching is still a teacher-led process.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to go to Wally and I'm in a very big perspective because I'm neither a teacher nor a school. And for me, education is about learning. Education is about skill building. Education is not about a curriculum or an academics or an instruction or a method of instruction or a measurement of how the progress has been. All those are a part of a scholastic system, which is more of a systemic things. But the age and the period one spends in the form of education is the peak of any knowledge acquisition process and applying that knowledge. Of course, again, try to only the curriculum or the areas of what was studies and stuff like that. But what we say in most education is their education system will ask the student, what do you want to learn? So the learner has to be instigated from within it. That inspiration has to come from within. Like someone said, inspiration is nothing but entrepreneur. The inspiration is the entrepreneurship comes from the parent, from within yourself. So not only ask the student what you want to read and what are you interested to learn, what are the tools that are made available to you. I think best way the AI as it stands today is for it to make a significant impact. And in the coming case, it means a fundamental impact on that.
The whole capabilization of the learning experience.
Then it is even not only hyper personalization, the choice itself. Right? The choice that you want to make, the networks that you want to run, the way that you always share, the way not to really ask the AI to read, give you a part of curriculum to learn Python. You can ask the AI today, TP Python in Python like a curriculum, edit that curriculum. The doses, the exercises, if you don't understand anything, explain this to me. What is that Python map on that data? So in a details need, even is in Nepali the learner. Where the works out, Bapurian, Atmanian trace in my own language. All of these things are the branches of the that's minus that. But so far they all talk about the students only are opponents and are urban. Mostly the 20% or 30% of the total population of the students in the lab. They have been to say that whoever is, nobody colleges are involved, whoever's higher grades in the school, just stop they get 10th grade or just stop at a grade dual you can grade, right? So where matters, because for them also they are teaching, they're not going to get in a college. So how would they get to learn that kind of, and there is the aspects of vernacularity, the language boundaries. How many somebody learn their own mother tongue and learn in their own vernacular language? Or there is a big book that I read to me in the slang. Can I ask AI to really read about that book? I can't talk to the conversations called model. I can't read that book. There are many different aspects and facets of it in the trends of education, in the method and mode of learning, and making us at the daddy. But God will pay God did in that case. So the important stories are very well big prospering situation is kids don't want men and there is other coaches sitting on their bench. Because the same wisdom learned is sitting by and about the law. This is more popular than the US. And there is another class sitting on a bench that they can't focus. They don't learn to what teacher is the covered law. But that is well for the day and the basic advance extremely down. So there are all of these personal individual ability choices and all these things, but mass authority or they said people learning. Neither one us. The case would be a escaper. And that's my take.
Thank you, Ravi. We very passionate because that's how to build the differentiate from the student and the learning journey path. Okay, you're the youngest person on the panel. Yeah. So he built one startup, exited, and now we're building another one. Right. So where do you see AI coming in, and particularly what you're now going to be launching soon, right? So how do you see AI playing a role? And AI as a force for good, and AI as a
Not opposed to do. Yeah, right. I think the business person in me has killed the techie in here also. So I really, I hadn't thought much about how AI can be helping us, but I just want to put forward what we are trying to build and what kind of technology that I am also looking forward for, and there are a lot of mentors here that I wanted to take this about us in this. So with my previous center, we had about 1.6 lakh students where they went through financial literacy, entrepreneurship products and all of that. And for us to scale to an extent of 1 million students, it became very tough for us. There we wanted to kind of see, one of the questions that we used to get from the schools or their parents was, how do we kind of link to the careers of the students? For example, a student who is doing really well with ideations or critical thinking or patient making, how do we connect to their careers? For that, we have taken so many tools that were built, the psychometric assessments and all of that, but did not meet the purpose yet. Like Sir was telling, I think we are too early in that stages of understanding the students' behavioral aspects towards entrepreneurship or any other careers. So when it came to my second venture, what I am looking at is that if at all students can actually build their own courses, can we have our own code builders? For example, I'm interested in finance and actually curious about artificial intelligence, and I want to build a part on fintech. So can there be a course on fintech plus artificial intelligence where I can pick my own faculty, I can pick my normal schedules? Can it be more personalized? So this is something that you wanted to build. I don't know if it's already existing. If it's existing, then can you go low towards entrepreneurial learnings through this? If it's not existing, what it takes to kind of build it. So this is something that we are currently at, and I definitely see AI is the lead of the opus, because we are looking at a scale of about 1 million entrepreneurs down the lane. So yeah, that's serious.
And I'm sure about there'll be another people who want to read after this to get asked for the course to learn. Okay, so I think Professor Balaji and Reddy, to some extent you touched on digital inequity, on bias, and obviously data privacy would be an issue. Sort of thing. Jango quickly jumped into two parts. One is we talked about personalizing the journey for the student. I'm going to ask Ramesh now. And I call Ramesh Junior, and I'll tell you reason why this year. What kind of our education institutions today, they love to equip the teachers, professionally to be able to adopt AIIT from this.
I don't think they're equipping teachers at all, right? AI aside, right? We just think that's one I understand. I hope you build a better job with school education, because there's a system there. But I'm not very familiar with the school that my kids went to, but little bit now because of the Reddy Center, little bit. But if you just take India,
yes, you got an utopian world, okay?
See, utopian world. See, I think it's a reality that we are resource starved, right? If you take the whole government education health system. So the opportunity for using technology to kind of deliver on some of those mandates and services is very, very high. I think probably higher than anything else. The earlier technologies were digital classrooms, all that, which are very resource intensive. And like today, you can do so much with just an Android phone, which probably just about every teacher has. Many students have. Teachers already have. And you don't need too much of infra, unlike all the previous incarnations or previous avatars of tech in the classrooms. And these are like all the solutions we're building, again, inspired by somebody that was doing it in US already, that came up in a Research Foundation's conference. And then we just built and started to build it after it came out in that brainstorming meeting, Roundtable meeting. Just a teaching aid for the teacher. We work closely with Deshpande and some of these here, but they understand Rubicon schools very well. Though I won, well, the problems are similar. Just a teaching aid in the classroom, microphone, and it listens to the class. You just teach us today teaching so-and-so survey, or so-and-so lesson, or whatever. How would you organize their teaching lesson plan? And at the end of it, it will tell how much of that subject was taught. Okay, today's topic was magnets, suppose, right? Magnetism. It will tell you like a word per what all was covered. So teacher will see like, God, hey, these are the ones I spent time as a big day. Was spending more time on these words. That's what magnetism is about. It will tell about what are basic things were taught in the class. Tell how much interaction was in the class, in the 40-minute, 35-minute class. How much time students spoke. Was there interaction, no interaction? And it's basically, of course, it can be used for police, unfortunately, but we are projecting it as a feedback to the teacher, saying that like, they get close to Peter at the end of the class saying, okay, have I, like, you can pick the dimensions. That teacher, students ask the question, what kind of questions are they asking? When the teacher has how many of them answered. At the more class level, not individual. But I think things like this, there are many possibilities. I think equipping, motivating and inspiring them to use it, because they should still not see it as a threat, but they should see it as something that enables them to do their job without in any form diminishing their value. That is very important. What we have seen, that is in just come to this one cool complex, 70 school. We will make several times. I will make a couple of times. Others in team have made multiple. They're going for EGOs. This is the biggest wrong. If it's something that comes in the way, either it seems like they're not being respected or they're being policed. They're going to discuss. It has to be not that only. You should be shown as look, it's making you do what you're doing, helping you. Right? In no way replacing what you're doing. That's a very important message. Anything that you're seeing, if it comes across as a borderline threat or policing, they'll find every reason to kill it within the defeats of bias. But it will, within that, it's still possible. A lot of problems we're seeing, the technology can help amplify what's happening in modern e-commerce.
Let's spend a minute quickly on going over the ethical consideration. I know we kind of touched on it. So we'll start with you, Ram and Reddy.
Yeah, I mean, between in terms of the time, there for the underderision. So from that perspective, we look at what extra the thing. We're coming to the ethical part of it. Yes, I just want to touch upon what Parish is said about making teachers to understand these technologies and identify usage of those technologies. He done simple example in ChatGPT came in, of course, those who understand the international culture, wherein the laws, assessments, the writing assessments, they just copy from ChatGPT answer and Robert and teachers said, okay, great answer. They teach the teachers saying that they were the IITs, not just ChatGPT or and understand that you are evaluating the student, taking technology here, that it has the virtual thinking of the student who has done it. Otherwise, what would happen is, it's too much based as wherein, like I said, other ethical side effect is going to happen. It's very deep. So we have to use the technology. At the same time, we also need to train them in terms of what the technology is going to kind of impact the students around. So, experience is that it was the kind of basic thing that we are working towards. How do we kind of go on educating the teachers in terms of the side effects of it?
And let's do we have about 7-8 minutes. So we'll do a rapid for 1 minute each. I saw the picky from this question which I think Ram talked about. How do you balance, how do you ensure the student doesn't lose sight of critical thinking, creativity?
So the first thing I want to say is that, there is no way you can stop the students from using AI. So how do you balance? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, to balance this, teachers need to understand rather than trying to stop them using AI. They need to be adaptive to see that, how they can help the students to use it in the right way. If the focus of the faculty is towards, helping the students using the AI in right way rather than not making them use the AI or threatening them, that would be the best opportunity.
So very quickly, and just as a follow-up question, we need tips, tools, clicks to make sure that they can use AI beneficially at the same time not lose size of.
Yeah. Not exactly. If you make, because I haven't done much of research on it.
Okay, so guys, switch the bit on that question. Yes. So, what's the Balaji? Person is how many will we can use AI to do at the same time making sure the students don't lose sight of critical thinking, creative thinking, and
yeah. I think one of the key keys is not forgetting that education is have to be defined from the point of view of learning. the focus is mostly the time of PG. So when you say, I see probably the three goals that they think are important for education. Yeah. First is building character, which obviously takes lost in all this case. Because tomorrow they have to become leaders and citizens of a modern new society. Do you know what is that, what is it all? So that I think AI will not do very much. So there's a role there. The second thing is building compassion. See, hyper-individualized, already we're individualized. In the attention economy, most of us are glued to our mobiles, including our tablets. There is no parent space that is left alone, including the bedroom. I'm sure you have a lot more problems with young men and women living together. Forget about working together in teams. So one of the key things, therefore, is to balance and also understand the third of is people. So character, compassion, and competence in the order. In competence, it can be an adequate key. Again, we talk about competence. I think he alluded to it in some way. There is declarative knowledge, which AI is done with. How about procedural knowledge? How do I do things? About knowing what it is and going about doing something, how to do. So that is something that AI cannot supplement. And I cannot supply. It can only supplement it. So I think, one has to take with a pinch of salt. It is very helpful in many ways. And the third question that I take in terms of, again, the challenge that we have is how do I needle this, each of the students to put their fingers on the mobile. They are told the faculty, give them 2 minutes to play with the mobile. So that it is gone, then they'll give them back to focus on that one. So, with the fighting the enemy, sweet to the enemy, as they say. So, that was a part of it to deal with. So, these are some of the practical tips and tools to play it. But it's too early a stage. But I do hope if there's a voice-based thing, that probably will cut and be history, like I said, vernacular AI, conversational AI, some conversational in language. When that comes, probably this the disparity might come down. Otherwise, I do see the prompt you write is the answer you get. If you can write a very good prompt, you get a very good answer quickly. So if I am not good at the English, again that means the language ability done right now. So these are a few things, but I guess one can figure out Jugaad. One of the things that we're building is something called sense mating. Trying to get my students to tell their stories of learning and difficulties, which the AI can catch in terms of they're trying to build a video tool, pick up the person's iris and face and all that, and analyze that and bring a sentiment analysis to say where is the child finding difficulty, what we call cognitive speed bumps. So there we can kind of make it the so-called hyper personalization. If I don't understand the child's difficulty in learning, what am I going to do about? There actually I also do tremendous potential, I think.
Thank you. Okay, Ravi.
It is time I'm listening now that we have thought about the comparative health now, very alert children and people that you love ages. But there is a big population who are categorically or who need special education, who need their special compassion. People with autism. And there are a lot of really have the subjects that we have not really seen. I think the AI ethics will be calculated the people pointing about Asianism and breaks. So Bayism work which is not their original country, these that. Every reasonably limited and get stuck in that process with that stuff. AI take a lot booster from learning as a whole. For abilities, thanks mapping, STEM areas, or whether it is completely different area that the mapping talk more. But rather something was rated one plastic language or something awesome about the edit magnetics, get around the sources of a way. And the one really learning about a particular way of the outbounding but only a paper about making the particles. About the really shadow drawing. Oh, that's a way. When it doesn't have to be just a peeking on the long way. That's okay. So the students that we do have abilities, cognitive or social skills and other areas of the abilities also. Is a bishop, but in terms of asset people and it can be a lot good than all the other topics that we have already had.
So you just see all these songs usually focus in what you're saying.
If it on I think ethical AI should be introduced in the curriculum of the schools so that a lot of literacy will be happening from the school level itself. I think already CDSE is trying to introduce that. But I think the bodies like say AIIT and all should be giving their exposure to the teachers and the teachers and actually to students also. I think that is one model which is going to be really impactful.
So the last day does end this. Is over the best by the way.
Was it the host is you? Yeah, they're the host. Yeah. So, we don't believe in programming in schools as an institute. We believe it's not a primary skill. Language is primary skill, math is primary skill, computational thinking is primary skill, problem solving is primary skill. So we have a very aggressive AI and computational thinking post for school kids, which you pipe in over their school, we're ready to launch, and then pandemic happens. So it's kind of there now, government has picked up the thread. We're hoping it will get launched in all government schools in the state. The whole thing, we teach algorithms like sorting and such without them doing program. They do sorting to set to music. You're asked to present a binary sort on stage, set to music as a small play. But you understand sorting, how binary sort works. There are some patterns in music. Mere missionary, you understand, we don't have a programming. And we strongly believe programming is a foundational skill. Computational thinking is found over the years. So that's our approach. That will be up to high school is not there. And that side, I think teaching teachers how to use technologies is definitely something. Enabling technology is very good to tools and also educating them on how they could use the likes of ChatGPT and such kind of to help them about they're doing better. Mental health is an area where there's a lot possible technology can help. But we just need to invest. There are not too many people doing it today. Vakan here, that's a little bit more on healthcare. Step and second Bangalore, that's a little bit. What we are doing with Battery Center is very, very small. They're not doing even at that level. 10 people building solutions to NGOs. They're not even at that level, very, very few. And these are all epidemic of NGO. They have problems with the latest tech coming from research or even beyond research. Coming from research, it's the latest tech that can help solve things for them. The many forwards. You just need to create an ecosystem like what people like earlier doing helps. I think we just need a lot of more of that.
To stay informed about the startup ecosystem, subscribe to my Startup TV.